Hey, Anthony DiClemente here with the Health Blueprint, and in today's video we're going to go over some of the causes of systemic inflammation and joint pain, along with some specific strategies you can take today to start getting some significant relief. A lot of my female clients experience joint pain on some level, and this is heightened in perimenopause. So when female hormonal levels start to change, they often experience an increase in pain and inflammation. And there are a number of causes that can affect pain and inflammation, whether you're a young man in his early 20s that's lifting weights and just experiencing some aches and pains in your elbow or your shoulder or your knees, or you're a woman entering menopause and starting to notice that change of life is having an effect on your pain levels. So some of the first things that we want to look at when you are experiencing pain and inflammation are your digestion, gut dysbiosis, or an imbalance of the bad bacteria and the good bacteria in the gut can cause pain and inflammation. As many of you probably know, we have 10 times more bacterial cells than human cells in our body, and many of those bacteria reside in the gut. What happens though is when we have a modern lifestyle, a sedentary lifestyle, where we're eating a lot of processed foods and foods that contain genetically modified ingredients, refined sugars, refined carbohydrates, inflammatory vegetable oils, it can cause dysbiosis, or it can cause an overgrowth of the bad bacteria proportionate to the good bacteria. And when this happens, these bad bacteria produce something called endotoxins. So the same way that we eat food and eliminate that food in the form of waste, these organisms do the same thing, except they're eliminating that waste within us. And these toxins can cause inflammation. So one of the first things that I do with clients is to address the gut and make sure that we are restoring a healthy gut microbiome and balance in the digestive system. The second thing that we want to look at, as I alluded to earlier, is hormones. For many of our clients are women 30 to 60 plus, and they experience an increase in pain and inflammation, whether that's labeled as osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or they're just achy and stiff. And this can be tied to a decrease in the hormone estrogen. Estrogen has many properties by way of regulating inflammation in the body, and as estrogen levels decrease, inflammation can increase. Now, with today's technology, we do have methods for measuring inflammation in the body. So you can get certain laboratory tests, like you can have your C-reactive protein measured, and there are some other indicators that I typically recommend to clients, but it's often something that can be remedied by looking at hormonal levels, and if it is something where you are experiencing a decrease in your estrogen levels because of aging, you can often improve your pain levels and experience much more comfort by restoring healthy hormone balance. Now, for some clients, that's bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. For others, it's simply supplements that help with the metabolization of hormones and increasing natural hormone levels. Another thing that we see a lot is overtraining or under-recovering. So when there are health issues involved, like gut dysbiosis, as I mentioned earlier, or adrenal fatigue, mitochondrial dysfunction, where the body has difficulty producing energy, that can result in excess body fat. And then what happens is, to get rid of this excess body fat, the first thing we want to do is eat less and exercise more. But because we have these underlying health issues, our ability to recover from physical exercise is compromised. And by pushing too hard for too long, that can exacerbate this joint pain and inflammation. So we'll see a lot of clients that are struggling with their weight, whether this be women or men, more common with women for sure, and they are trying to out-exercise the problem. So rather than getting to the root cause of their health issues, they're trying to eat less, exercise more, exercise harder, doing these crazy intense workouts, working out every day, and what's happening is they're in a constant state of pain and inflammation. One of my clients just messaged me today, and Jessie, and she was really pushing herself hard. We've been fixing some of her health issues for the past few weeks. Her energy's way up. She's saying she's no longer feeling like tired and ragged. So she's able to give a lot more to her workouts, but in doing so, I think she ran like 5 or 6 miles yesterday. And she'd gone from a state of chronic exhaustion and chronic fatigue to now she's running 5 or 6 miles, which is great. But then she woke up today and her ankle was just killing her, really inflamed. And it's a matter of whether you want to label it overtraining or under recovering. It's all relative, but when there are health issues involved like this, it's typically under recovering. So someone that's in a good state of health would probably be able to do the same amount of exercise and be fine, but because there are these other issues at play, it can affect our body's ability to absorb nutrients, to quench free radicals and reduce inflammation, and therefore we're left in a state where we're achy, we're tired, and our body hurts. Some other things that probably the biggest thing that affects pain and inflammation is diet. And oftentimes we look at diet as something that affects the numbers on the scale, but we don't think of how these foods affect our body. And many times, especially with pain, inflammation, arthritis, it's tied to immunogenic and allergenic foods, meaning we have underlying food allergens or autoimmunity issues that are tied to certain foods that we're eating that we may even think are healthy that are actually causing this pain. And some of the food recommendations that I give clients, it really depends on the client, because this is an individualized process, and that's why it's always best to link up with a coach. It doesn't have to be me. I'm not doing these videos so you guys feel compelled to work with me, or like the only way to fix your problems is to work with me. Hopefully I'm giving you some tools that you can do this on your own. But some patterns that I see with a lot of clients are they're eating diets that are too high in animal products. So too high in proteins. This is very common with people on a paleo diet. We're all used to seeing the it's not that hard people infographic where it's got a plate and half the plate is vegetables and half the plate is meat. So we've got all of these people now that are eating tons and tons of animal protein. Now combine that with the fact that many individuals are dealing with gut issues and dysbiosis of the digestive system, as I mentioned earlier, and many of these pathogenic or bad bacteria, they feed on animal fats and animal proteins. So then you combine that with a caveman style diet where you're eating high amounts of grass-fed beef and free-range lamb and foods that are typically healthy if you are working within a body that's in homeostasis and balance and a healthy digestive system. But when you start adding high amounts of animal fats and animal proteins to a system that's already out of balance, it further increases pain and inflammation. So one of the first steps that I recommend to clients is to decrease your consumption of animal protein. Switch to a plant-based diet. Try to get 80% of your food from plants. Then from there, sorry, I'm also driving, so I'm trying to pay attention to directions and make sure that I don't make any more wrong turns. If you guys haven't noticed, I've got a ton of boxes in the back. I just moved into a new apartment yesterday. I was moving all day from like 7:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. And I've got my apartment's filled with boxes, and I needed a bunch of stuff, so I went to IKEA, loaded up on that. I'm headed back home, and I'm making this video for you guys. So little brief intermission there. Back to today's video blog. So by decreasing your consumption of animal protein, focusing more on lean, wild-caught fish, make sure it's wild-caught, and lean, organic, free-range chicken, turkey, poultry, make those your main sources of animal protein, and make wild-caught fish the predominant source of animal protein, roughly 3 to 1 in relation to poultry. Then 80% of your food volume comes from vegetables. Now, because many of us are also dealing with blood sugar issues and other underlying health issues where we're not yet able to effectively metabolize certain carbohydrates, even natural cellular carbohydrates like fruits and starchy tubers, it's good to make sure that most of those plants are vegetables, most of those vegetables are green. And And this too will have a very powerful impact on inflammation. So we decrease our consumption of animal proteins, especially animal fats. We get 80% of our diet from plants, because if you're dealing with weight-related challenges, there's a very strong possibility that you're also working with some degree of blood sugar or insulin sensitivity issues. So you want to make sure that most of those plants are vegetables, most of those vegetables are green. Okay, and then 2 other foods that I see clients eating a lot that are very immunogenic and allergenic, meaning they're very likely to cause an autoimmune reaction in the body or an allergy reaction in the body that can further increase this pain and inflammation that we're talking about, are eggs, even organic free-range eggs. This is big, again, in the paleo community and the caveman community. Most of our clients come to us and they're like, I've been eating paleo, I've been working out, nothing's working. And it's because we need to fix all of these issues. And that's why it's good to work with someone that can really dig into this stuff, like we do with our program. And then the other one is nuts and nut butters. So tons of people eating almonds, almond butters, and not only doing so to excess, where it's compromising portion control, and as a result of that, they're having difficulty losing weight. But these nuts, nut butters, and eggs, many people eating eggs every single morning are further causing pain, inflammation, or what physicians then label as arthritis. And arthritis is very much a real disease, but many people that have been diagnosed with arthritis are just constantly bombarding their body with inflammation in the form of immunogenic and allergenic foods. And when we cut these foods out, clients typically experience a 50 to 75% reduction in their pain within the first 30 days. Some other things that you can do that will help immensely with pain and inflammation. Supplementing wisely. So some of the supplements that help with pain and inflammation, making sure to get healthy animal-based omega-3 fatty acids. And one of the best forms of this is extra virgin cod liver oil. Rosita's Foods has a fantastic product. You would take 1 tablespoon of Rosita's Foods extra virgin cod liver oil daily. It doesn't taste good, but you can chase it with some kombucha. GT's Enlightened brand organic kombucha original is available at most grocery stores now. So you get your tablespoon of cod liver oil, throw it back, chase it with some kombucha, you're good to go. There are a number of other supplements that can be helpful, but really which supplements I choose for you are going to depend on your genes, your biology, your physiology, and what underlying health issues you're dealing with, whether they're digestive, hormonal, etc. But some other good supplements that I have used in the past for pain and inflammation: bromelain, glucosamine, chondroitin. Cosamin is a pretty good supplement that combines the two. Hyaluronic acid, which helps to increase the fluidity of the joints. Collagen, and which is used in rebuilding the joints, and a number of other supplements that we can go into more detail if you decide you want to get involved in. Whoop! Almost got in an accident. That's great. the lengths I go to bring you guys this information. Anyway, so hopefully I won't die before this video is done. So supplementing wisely, and there's a number, dozen to 24 supplements that we use depending on what you're dealing with and your health assessment and some of the deep discovery that you and I would go through on your strategy session. 2 other big ones are managing your stress. So when we're stressed, we experience an increase in the hormone cortisol, and cortisol is known as the stress hormone. Many of us are in a state of chronic stress because of our modern lifestyle, and when cortisol and stress is unchecked, we experience inflammation. Cortisol is inflammatory, and when we're stressed and cortisol levels are elevated, we experience elevated levels of C-reactive protein and inflammation. So meditating, taking 10 to 20 minutes a day to relax, doing some guided relaxation or meditation. I recommend starting with Headspace, the 10 and 10. They've got a program where it's 10 days of 10 minutes a day meditation. It's free. It's great. Do it. You throw in headphones, you relax, you just follow along with the directions. The other one is Brain FM. You go to brain.fm and you can follow along with their guided meditations. They use sound frequencies. They found that the brain actually synchronizes with sound frequencies. So by including alpha, beta, theta, frequencies with the guided meditation, it helps the brain to more rapidly get into a meditative state. So those would be two resources that I would check out. Some other good ones, Holisync by Centerpoint. Kelly Howell has some fantastic guided meditations, but we can go into more detail on that as well in the future. And then the other one is, you guessed it, physical activity, exercise. Exercise decreases inflammation. And it's often one of those chicken and the egg situations because clients know they need to exercise to lose weight and feel better, but it's hard to do when you're in a state of pain. So we take some of these steps by fixing diet, fixing, helping you to manage your stress, and supplementing, so that you can then start to exercise and then add in the physiological benefits of exercise and the anti-inflammatory benefits that come with physical activity to further accelerate your results. So that's all I've got for today. Hopefully you guys found that video helpful and enjoyed witnessing my near-death experience. I'm Anthony DiClemente. If you guys want help with this stuff, there are so many levels and it's really hard. I mean, it is hard to do on your own. I went at it. It took me a long time to get my health back on track, and I couldn't have done it without a team of people helping me. So if this is something that you want help with, I would be happy to discuss it with you, go over some ways that we may be able to get you the results that you're going for, and see if you're a fit for the coaching program. The best way to do that is to go to healthblueprintcoaching.com, fill out the short application form there, and then we'll set up a time for you to talk with myself or one of my team members. We'll go over your goals, what you're looking to achieve, how we can help you, and if it makes sense, then they'll set you up with a phone call with me, your first strategy session. They'll get you enrolled, and we'll start getting you the results that you're going for, helping you to really feel that decrease in pain. And again, most clients experience a 50 to 75% decrease in pain. And these are clients that have been diagnosed with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and in many cases experienced pain and discomfort for years, even decades. So there is hope. Believe. It just requires the right game plan and the right team of people helping you to achieve it. Once again, I'm Anthony DiClemente. For more information, go to healthblueprintcoaching.com, or feel free to reach out to me directly. You can send me a text message to 847-989-3743, and we'll set up a time to talk. Thanks for your time and attention. I really appreciate you, and have a great day.